Zan'trik stops moving as it realizes it's made a mistake of some kind. Devesh is the first to recover.
I told you to stay off your feet and not move.
I'm sorry, I was starting to get bored and I wanted to look around.
Netaru, stay back.
Onog steps forward to place himself between Netaru and Zan'trik, his knife drawn.
Onog, take it easy. Zan'trik isn't hostile.
I'm certainly in no condition to be a threat, assuming I even knew how to fight.
Wait, I know this form.
Netaru pulls her holy tome back out and begins scrambling to find a page.
She recognizes a Tholian? That seems unlikely.
Here, the prophecy of the eclipse.
Netaru steps forward to show the book to Alurka and the others. It's filled with text none of them can read. After a moment of silence, she seems to realize this.
Oh, here. The prophecy relates to a time generations ago when a demon rampaged across our world until it was banished by mighty heroes. It happened during a full lunar eclipse, like what's about to happen.
She points above at the suns, and everyone can see the moon is drawing close to making an eclipse.
We only see such an eclipse every few centuries, but it's always a time of chaos and horror. According to records, it is when a champion of the Dark God will appear to try and usher in an age of chaos.
By Dark God, you mean the moon?
Yes, the Dark God is jealous of the radiance of the twin gods and seeks to extinguish their light when it can. But we all know it can never prevail. Even so, its champion must be defeated.
Fascinating. A heliocentric religion that even treats the lone lunar body as a source of evil, which makes sense, as it blocks out the light.
What? You say that as if you do not believe. Surely you all worship the twin gods as well. All Tarnolians do.
We don't have time for that. What else does the prophecy say?
Netaru's eyes narrow, but she decides to let the issue go.
The starfall is the first sign, although its significance has been debated for generations. It seems obvious now that it is meant to be the means by which the champion will arrive.
The champion of the twin gods?
Yes, that is the champion, is it not?
Netaru gestures towards Zan'trik, who is listening attentively to her, apparently fascinated by what she has to say.
What makes you think Zan'trik is the champion?
Netaru turns to the next page and shows it to Alurka. His eyes go wide, causing the rest of the away team to crowd around the book. Each of them take on looks of shock as they see the illustration on the next page. Zan'trik peers over Alurka's shoulder and makes a noise approximating a gasp. The illustration, though simplistic, is clearly that of a Tholian.
The prophecy is coming true. Surely you are here to protect us, are you not?
Alurka regains his composure.
Excuse us for a minute. We must confer about our next course of action.
He pulls the away team and Zan'trik away from Netaru and Onog.
Are you sure we shouldn't kill them?
No, how could you be so cruel? Netaru seems so nice.
We're not killing them, but we need to think of a course of action. I'm starting to feel like it was more than a coincidence we arrived here.
You can't think this prophecy is actually true, can you?
Right now, I don't know. But it's obvious Tholians have been to this world before, so the Tarnolian culture and history has already been contaminated. We need to minimize any further alterations. If Tholians caused this prophecy to begin with, then I think we should resolve it and make it a forgotten legend with no chance of happening again.
What if nothing happens, and there's no great battle?
We'll think of a reason for that, and hopefully Netaru will spread the word that it was false. For now, I think we should play along. Zan'trik, you are the champion this prophecy is speaking of. You said you didn't know how to fight. How is that possible? Actually, how did you even wind up here so far from the assembly?
I was born out here. A League trader found me as a newborn on a destroyed Tholian ship, and I've spent my entire life among you humanoids. When I heard about the assembly and what they do, I had no interest in going back to them, so I've stayed among the League worlds here.
Huh. Definitely something you don't see every day.
Certainly a prime example of nature versus nurture.
We can discuss the sociology of it later. For now, we just need you to play along and that you're meant to be here.
I'll do my best, Captain.
That's all I ask. Come on.
The group returns to Netaru and Onog.
My apologies again. We are indeed servants of the champion here, but we weren't aware of the prophecy, nor were we sure how much anyone knew about our mission here.
You came from the heavens then, not another land?
We did. These, servants have been extremely useful to me, and I ask you to trust them.
Of course, champion. We are grateful for your presence and the protection you will provide. I am still not sure I can fully trust them, but I will abide by your guidance.
Thank you.
We appreciate your willingness to work with us. Now we should probably begin preparations for this battle.
The away team sets up an area to train Zan'trik. Alurka oversees Zan'trik's training initially. Thankfully, the Tholian appears to be a relatively quick study, even if it lacks confidence in its abilities. After a while, Alurka takes a break and lets Varia take over. While hiding from Netaru and Onog, he hails the Durandal.
Durandal here, sir.
I need you to beam down some melee weapons we can equip on a Tholian EV suit.
That's unexpected.
I know. I'll fill you in on everything when we get back, but apparently we're going to help fulfill a prophecy. Before you ask, it's actually to minimize the cultural contamination here. Just beam down the weapons inside the ship. We've got 2 locals with us, and we don't need them to see something like that.
Understood, sir. We'll have them to you in a few minutes.
Everything fine up there?
Yes, sir. We had a minor incident with a power relay, but it's resolved now.
Good. Alurka out.
Alurka closes the comm and walks back around the ship. Elliot comes up to him.
I have to say, Captain, I did not think we'd be learning about a new culture in such an awkward way.
You're not having fun?
I am, actually. What? Strinala's not the only one allowed to nerd out, is she?
Of course not. I'm always happy to see my officers enjoy their work, even in such a delicate situation. Speaking of, I've got Wakala beaming down some weapons we can give Zan'trik that might help with the fight. I just wish I knew what we're up against.
Me too. We could set some kind of trap for whatever it is to help Zan'trik. I'm sure it'll need all the help it can get.
Varia walks up, sweating from exertion.
Are you getting tired already?
No, Zan'trik is. So we're taking a break and Devesh is checking its vitals. Are you sure I can't be the champion instead? It'd be a much easier fight.
Yes, I'm sure. We're going to follow this prophecy and let it be consigned to history.
Wouldn't it be more effective if we derail it?
Strinala approaches now, hearing the conversation.
Maybe. But Netaru is putting a lot of faith in this prophecy, and I think proving it wrong would likely have a far more drastic impact on her. Breaking her faith when whatever children she'll have are going to be priests as well. That could resonate for generations.
Don't let Devesh hear you say something like that.
Yes, I know.
The Prime Directive always seems like such a simple concept on paper. But then you get thrown into a situation like this. I feel like I have to watch every step I take in case I step on a butterfly or something.
You probably don't need to worry that much, but yes, anything we do here could have far-reaching consequences. Or it's just as possible nothing we do here has any impact. Maybe all the records of these events will be destroyed in a few years anyway. We can't be certain. All we can do is follow our instincts and hope for the best.
Sounds like Netaru isn't the only one operating on a lot of faith right now.
I suppose she isn't.
What if we're wrong? What if what we do has a far worse impact?
Well, in the short term, no one will be facing a tribunal except me, so you all have nothing to worry about. In the long term, if that does turn out to be the case, then we'll deal with it as necessary. If we're even still around by then.
I would think at worst, we could wipe their memories before we send them on their way or something.
We shouldn't count on that. Without detailed medical scans at a minimum, Devesh would have no idea where to even begin with that sort of procedure. And we would probably need to scan hundreds of them to form a working dataset.
Never mind that.
Best to assume that won't be an option. For now, we need to keep preparing for the fight. The weapons should be inside the ship. Elliot, Varia, see that Zan'trik gets familiar with them.
The 2 of them head into the ship. Alurka and Strinala head to where Netaru is, conversing along the way.
It's a shame we didn't see this world on the Durandal. It would have been interesting to compare notes between back then and now.
Oh, when we got thrown back in time at the end of the temporal war?
Exactly. I know we had other things to occupy us, like getting home, but I wish we could have done more exploration.
Me too. But we couldn't risk any alterations to history. Personally, though, I'm more curious to see where these people go in the future.
They find Netaru conversing with Zan'trik, while Devesh is now resting some distance away. Onog stands nearby, still clearly nervous about the Tholian, but trusting the priestess.
What about where you come from? What is it like in the heavens?
I'm not sure I'm supposed to talk about that.
No, you're not.
Alurka, Zan'trik is quite friendly. I would have expected the champion to be stern and grim, like that Varia of yours.
Oh no, I'm very friendly. Especially when, someone is friendly back.
Netaru smiles at Zan'trik, and a lurker can sense the jealousy in Onog's body language.
I hate to interrupt, but Zan'trik, you should get back to your training. Varya and Elliot will take care of you.
Of course, I'll see you later, Netaru.
Good luck, champion.
Zan'trik heads for the training area. A lurker notes the suns are setting and the area is starting to get darker.
We should probably make preparations to rest soon.
Shall I gather materials for a fire?
Please do.
Strinala, help him out.
Onog and Strinala leave. After a moment, Netaru gestures towards the crashed starship.
The more I look at this building, I am not sure what else to call it. The more confused I am by it. This was how you arrived from the heavens.
It was a means of conveyance, yes. The arrival was rougher than we anticipated, however, hence the damage.
Once the battle is done, how will you return?
There are other ways we can return to our homeland. You needn't worry about us.
May I look inside?
I'm afraid not. There are things in there no one like you was ever meant to see. Think of it as a divine mystery.
That is a concept I certainly understand. You all are an unusual bunch. You look and sound like Tarnolians, but somehow I doubt that is the truth of you. I shall have to content myself with another mystery, I suppose.
Now you're catching on. I'm not trying to be frustratingly vague, but you must believe it's for your own protection.
Very well. It has certainly been a long day. I am ready to sleep.
Me too.
The away team take turns either discreetly eating rations inside the ship or preparing a fire and bedding for everyone. Eventually, aside from one person keeping watch, they all fall asleep. Morning arrives and Varya, who's currently on watch, wakes everyone else up.
Somebody's coming!
Her declaration immediately puts everyone on edge.
Any idea who?
No, but there's a lot of them. Probably several hundred.
Oh no.
Netaru rushes to the edge of the crater. Onog and a lurker follow.
It is King Samil, the ruler of these lands. I thought it would take longer for him to muster the pomp and circumstance to come out here.
I'm guessing he won't be amenable to our presence.
He will not.
Is there anything we can do?
I do not think so, but I will try anyway.
Without waiting, Netaru and Onog exit the crater and begin to walk towards the approaching army. A lurker waves Elliot over.
Get Zan'trik ready to fight, but keep him out of sight. We're going to try and buy time, but if this demon doesn't show up, I want you to prep the spatial charges. We'll blow the ship and vanish in the explosion.
Understood, sir. Good luck.
A lurker catches up to Netaru and Onog.
Do we need to worry about this king getting violent?
He would not dare harm a priestess.
I wish I had your confidence.
For what it's worth, should it come to that, I'll help as best I can.
They reach the army a few minutes later. The king is walking at the head of the procession and holds his hand up for them to stop. Several banners being carried behind him snap in the wind.
Netaru, I should have known you'd come out here, desperate for any chance of glory or influence.
Your Majesty, I am not motivated by greed but by faith. The starfall is a holy sign, and so I came to investigate.
Holy Pa, it is a gift from the heavens perhaps, but it belongs to me. Everything in these lands belongs to me. Are you trying to bar my path?
The church does not belong to you, and neither does the starfall. By writ of holy ground, I claim it in the name of the twin gods above.
Ha ha ha! You are a bold one, Netaru. This is your last chance. Step aside or be removed by force.
The king seems to finally notice a lurker.
And who is this? Why does he bear no clan markings?
I am a holy guardian of the champion spoken of in the prophecy of the eclipse. What Netaru tells you is true. This is sacred ground, and I suggest you turn around.
Ha ha ha! You sound like a drunkard. Is that where you found him, Netaru? Someone even more disgraced than you, and you offered to pay his tavern bill if he pretended to be a holy guardian? Enough of this. Get out of our way, or die.
The king begins marching forward. The army follows after him. A lurker, Onog, and Netaru can do nothing but stand aside. However, a moment later, everything suddenly begins to grow darker. The army stops, and everyone looks up. The eclipse is beginning.
It is time.
Darkness descends rapidly on the area as the moon seems to move before the suns at an unnatural speed. The soldiers grow visibly nervous.
The battle will begin soon. The champion must be ready.
Battle? What battle?
Nataru doesn't answer and instead begins sprinting back towards the crater. Onog follows close behind.
It's just an eclipse. Keep moving.
The army advances again, but more slowly this time. Alurka begins jogging back towards the crater and hails the ship along the way.
Wakala here, sir.
An eclipse is starting over our area.
Confirmed. It's moving to perfectly block both suns. You're near the middle of the shadow band.
Are you detecting anything unusual up there?
Stand by, sir.
The Durandal begins scanning, but nothing overly conclusive comes back.
We're detecting unusual gravimetric readings, but we're not sure what it could mean. The only other thing is the moon's orbit appears to be slowing.
Shame Strinala isn't up there. Very well. Keep an eye out for anything else. Alurka out.
By the time Alurka returns to the ship, the eclipse has finished blocking all but a sliver of the suns. Clouds are gathering in the sky as if a storm were brewing. Thunder begins to rumble. Nataru is on her knees at the head of the ship, apparently engaged in some kind of prayer. Onog kneels beside her.
Zan'trik, are you ready? I think you're about to be up.
I think so. I'm suddenly not so sure about this.
You've got this. We'll be supporting you the whole time.
Any other orders at the moment, Captain?
For once, no. Just stand ready. I'm sure whatever's coming will be here soon.
Only a few moments later, the storm clouds part as a beam of light shoots down from the moon above. Everyone flinches, expecting an impact, but none is felt. The beam fades away a moment later, and several gasps can be heard. Standing where the beam was is another Tholian. The away team stares at the new Tholian for a moment. Nataru and Onog stand and study it, clearly confused. This one is not wearing an EV suit like Zan'trik, yet it appears unaffected by what should be a lethally cold atmosphere to it.
Well, that's not what I was expecting.
Is that another Tholian?
So it would seem.
I do not understand. How can the champion be the same form as the demon?
Are you sure that drawing was of the champion?
It may be possible it was of the demon, and was mislabeled in the past. But I was so sure it was the form of the champion.
Zan'trik is still our champion. Let's give it a chance to defeat the demon.
Yes, of course.
They begin to approach the demon, which is focused on the approaching army. The king reaches it first, standing at a distance.
I am Samil, king of these lands and ruler of all you behold. I demand to know who you are.
I am Nelkubi, and I am the true ruler of this world.
Sir, it's speaking the Tharnolian language.
It is the demon of the past, I am sure. We must defeat it.
Zan'trik, I know this is going to be unusual for you, but the fact that the demon is the same species as you doesn't matter. You still need to defeat it.
I don't think I can. It's twice my size. It must be so ancient.
Listen to me. Each of us has been in hundreds of fights. You have all our collective experience to draw on. We won't fight it directly, but we'll do everything in our power to help you. Just remember what we taught you yesterday, and you'll be fine.
On that note, I think I have an idea. Zan'trik, let me see your weapons.
Elliot makes several rapid adjustments to the weapons.
There. They should be more effective against Tholian physiology.
You can do this, Zan'trik. We all believe in you.
As do I.
Yes, you're all right. Okay, let's go before I change my mind.
They resume their advance towards Nelkubi, who suddenly raises an arm and fires an energy blast at the king's army. A dozen soldiers are vaporized. The king and the rest of the army immediately flee in terror. Nataru gives a scream of terror and jumps backwards behind Alurka and Onog.
Well, this is escalating quickly.
Nelkubi gloats for several moments as it watches the king and his army flee. Eventually, it seems to notice the others and turns towards them.
More challengers? Then if you wish to die, step forward.
Nelkubi, you are interfering with the natural development of a world outside the jurisdiction of the Tholian Assembly. On behalf of the Federation, I demand you withdraw immediately.
I've never heard of this Federation, so I do not recognize your authority. I've been stuck on the accursed moon above us for centuries, after my ship crashed there in my exile from the Assembly. I'm pleased to hear it still exists, though less pleased to hear inferior races still infest the galaxy.
Your ship crashed here centuries ago?
And I've lived under the surface of that moon ever since, feeding on its molten heat and trying to salvage my ship. But when all the bodies of this system align, the gravimetric energies let me project an avatar to this world below to gather materials.
Ingenious.
I don't think this is the time to be impressed.
So the legends of the demon are true.
Is that what they think of me? I only think of them as vermin.
We are far more than vermin. We defeated you once, and we will defeat you again.
Last time it took months and hundreds of your warriors to beat my avatar. I doubt you've advanced much since then. Do you even still have the sacred weapons you used last time?
While Nelkubi, Nataru, and Alurka converse, Strinala discreetly pulls out her tricorder and tries to scan Nelkubi. She slips behind Zan'trik and gets Elliot to come over.
The avatar is some kind of advanced holographic system. That's why it's not freezing to death. I'm also reading some kind of transporter system, which must be how it gets the materials back to the moon.
Yes, very impressive. I guess we need to make some more tweaks. Zan'trik, hold still for a moment.
Elliot tries to further recalibrate Zan'trik's weapons, now making them more disruptive to photonic energies. He succeeds and gives Zan'trik a slap on the back. The Tholian steps forward, drawing Nelkubi's attention.
Nelkubi, you are a threat to this world, and that I cannot allow.
You would ally yourself with these insects. They mean nothing.
They're my friends, and I won't let you hurt them. Face me.
Very well, then.
The two Tholians approach each other. Thunder continues to rumble above, and the storm clouds gather once more. Everyone else steps back to give them room. Zan'trik activates its weapons, and its fists become wreathed in glowing energy. With a wordless yell, it charges at Nelkubi. The demon seems unconcerned, moving to casually slap Zan'trik away, only to recoil in pain as the weapon slices through it with ease. The avatar shows signs of photonic disruption, though Alurka can only guess what Nataru might think it looks like. Realizing the serious threat Zan'trik poses, Nelkubi fires a blast of its energy weapon, which catches Zan'trik in the side. The Tholian is thrown to the ground, sparks shooting from its EV suit.
Is that all you have?
Zan'trik struggles to stand up. Elliot dashes forward with a sealing compound and shoves it into the largest breach of Zan'trik's suit. The compound hardens almost instantly, stabilizing Zan'trik, who gets back up and regains its balance.
I have plenty more.
Taking everyone by surprise, Zan'trik leaps into the air and strikes Nelkubi from above. The avatar shows further signs of disruption, struggling to hold its cohesion. The two Tholians tumble together to the ground, rolling over each other. Another blast rips out, but goes wide and hits the ground. While underneath Nelkubi, Zan'trik punches its fist upwards, straight into the core of Nelkubi's body. The hologram loses the last of its coherency and explodes, smashing Zan'trik back to the ground. Even the observers are staggered by the force of the blast. A long moment of silence passes, punctuated only by the thunder above.
Did I do it?
You did. Well done.
Zan'trik staggers to its feet and everyone steps forward to congratulate it. While the away team is only clapping or placing an appreciative hand on it, Nataru wraps her arms around it in a full-on hug.
Thank you, Zan'trik. Thank you so much.
It was my pleasure.
Zan'trik awkwardly tries to hug Nataru back, although sparks are still shooting out of parts of its suit. Nataru steps back before she gets hurt. Alurka notices Onog's jealous glare again.
Here, let me take a look at that. You'll probably need a new suit after this.
Elliot begins trying to patch up Zan'trik's suit.
I hope that won't be too much inconvenience for you.
Not at all. After what you've done, it's the least we can do. I'm proud of you, Zan'trik.
Thank you. That's not something I'm used to hearing.
I am proud of you as well, champion. You have saved us all from evil. Look, the eclipse is already passing.
She points to the sky, and they all notice how the storm clouds are beginning to dissipate as the eclipse ends. Everything around them slowly begins to get brighter.
I must ask, Zan'trik, under your armor, is your body the same as the demon?
It is. We are the same species, but please don't be scared of me or anything.
After what you have accomplished this day, I could never be afraid of you.
I suggest we start wrapping up. Now that our task is complete, it's time for us to return.
Already? Surely you can stay for a while longer and celebrate with us.
I'm sure that would be lovely, but I'm afraid we can't.
Very well. Thank you, Alurka, for everything.
Netaru gives Alurka a short hug.
Of course.
Is there any way we can see you again?
Unfortunately, I think that is unlikely. I'm sorry.
Netaru nods in understanding.
More divine mysteries, then. Well, here.
She removes a small beaded amulet from around her belt and gives it to Alurka.
Let me give you some token of gratitude.
Thank you. I will treasure it.
And for you, dear champion.
She removes a necklace from under her robes and gives it to Zan'trik. The red gem glitters brightly in the sunlight.
It's beautiful. I'm not sure where to put it.
Netaru wraps it around a brace on Zan'trik's suit and smiles with satisfaction. Zan'trik then approaches Alurka, while Netaru and Onog thank the rest of the away team.
Can I talk to you alone?
Certainly.
I'd like to stay here if you don't mind.
Absolutely not. The Prime Directive has already been violated plenty. Do you have any idea how much more damage your continued presence will do?
That sounds like a concern of the Federation. I'm not part of the Federation.
Look, I know why you really want to stay. I've seen the way you two look at each other. Normally, I'm not one to stand in the way of friendship and love, but you'll never be able to even touch her without one of you dying in the process. And you'll always be an outsider in her society. Plus, I can't guarantee how long your suit will last without regular maintenance, and as soon as it breaks, you're dead.
I guess I see your point, Captain. You didn't need to be so harsh about it, though. I'll go with you.
I'm sorry, but you nearly gave me a heart attack there when you said you wanted to stay. Believe me, the Prime Directive exists for very good reasons. I'll be happy to go over it once we're back on the ship and underway.
There's still so much for me to learn, it seems.
There's always more to learn. That's why Starfleet exists.
They return to the others, who have finished their goodbyes.
Everyone inside, you too, Zan'trik.
The rest of the away team and Zan'trik head inside the ship. Alurka turns towards Netaru and Onog.
I hope this will help you accomplish your goals.
Some kind of proof would be nice. King Samil will likely deny he was humiliated, but I'm sure at least some of his soldiers will testify as to what they saw.
Good luck. Onog, take care of Netaru.
I will.
Before you go, I have one last question, which you didn't answer earlier. You don't believe in the twin gods, do you?
No. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't. Faith is important, no matter who or what you put it in, whether a god, an ideal, or even just yourself. It's a powerful anchor to help get you through the struggles of life. What I believe in is just as vital to me as I'm sure the twin gods are to you. And it's seen us both through difficult challenges.
Netaru smiles.
You almost sound like a priest there.
I'm not just a man who's seen a lot.
Even so, light of the twin gods be with you.
And with you.
With that, Alurka heads into the ship. Netaru and Onog begin the journey back to the city. Alurka watches them from within the wreckage until they are clear of the crater.
Timer's set?
2 minutes should be enough. And mark.
Alurka to Durandal, 6 to beam up.
The away team beams up. 2 minutes later, the crater is filled with a new explosion as the spatial charges detonate, vaporizing the ship and any remaining traces of its presence. Netaru and Onog turn to watch the blast, then resume their journey. Commander Wakala greets the away team in the transporter room.
Welcome back, sir. How did it go?
Messily, but we succeeded. We're not quite done, though. Head for the moon. Devesh, how long will it take to get all this off?
The ears and head ridges, a matter of minutes. The fingers and blue skin, hours.
Fine, I guess I'll wait. Also, Commander, this is Zan'trik. It's to be afforded full guest privileges on board. It was instrumental in completing the mission.
Understood, sir.
Alurka and Strinala head for the bridge, while Wakala has Zan'trik escorted to guest quarters. Devesh takes Elliot and Varia to sickbay to begin removing their alterations. A short while later, the Durandal pulls into orbit over the moon. By now, Wakala has joined them as well.
Tholian ship located, Captain.
Any life signs inside it?
Negative.
Good. Target it and fire.
The Durandal fires a blast of its anti-proton arrays, utterly destroying the ship. A lurker notices Wakala seems to be vaguely relieved for some reason and decides to ask about it later.
I'm detecting increased seismic activity now.
That will probably destroy whatever passes for a lair to Nelkubi. Try to beam it out before it's killed. Put it in that cell in the brig we prepped for Tholian physiology.
Eyes are scanning. Ah, I found Tholian life signs nearby under the surface.
Lock on and beam it up.
Engaging transporter. Transport successful, Captain.
Excellent. I'm going to go visit our guest. Strinala, get that stuff off of you.
Yes, Captain.
A lurker heads for the brig and has Zan'trik join him. It's not hard to find the cell with the Tholian in it. Nelkubi rages at its imprisonment, striking out at the force field but failing to get anywhere.
Having fun in there?
I demand you release me at once.
I thought you'd have been happy to be off that moon.
Not if it means being held captive by the likes of you.
Well, don't expect to be going anywhere. You severely violated the Prime Directive, which is one of the most important rules of the Federation. Oh, right, let me fill you in on that. I'm a human from a planet called Earth. About 250 years ago, we formed an alliance with several other species, the Federation. It now includes almost 200 member species, spans several thousand light years, and is built on cooperation and understanding. And yes, I'm well aware of the Tholian Assembly and its xenophobic nature. I've had to fight your kind numerous times.
If you had fought my kind, you would not be alive now.
A lurker shrugs dismissively.
Believe what you want. The Prime Directive is a policy of non-interference in the development of other species, like the Tarnolians below us. We leave them alone to develop on their own, and we don't try to play gods with them. You appearing as a demon and rampaging around their world goes against the principles of that. Hopefully we fix that now, but only time will tell.
Why should I care? You are all beneath my notice.
Zan'trik is finally unable to contain its irritation at Nelkubi and steps forward.
Do you even hear yourself? Why are you so full of hatred towards humanoids?
If I have to explain it, you'll never understand.
These are good people. I've spent my entire life surrounded by them, and they've always treated me with decency and respect, even with the Assembly trying to purge them whenever they can. We could learn so much from them.
There is nothing of worth to learn from such creatures.
Zan'trik, we should give it time to relax and get used to its new home. We'll try talking to it later.
Right.
A lurker and Zan'trik leave. Nelkubi continues to pound against the force field with fists and radiation to no avail.
Captain's log supplemental. Hell of a day. Heaven of a day. Missions involving the Prime Directive are never easy or simple. We wound up making first contact with a pre-warp civilization, albeit in the guise of figures from legends, not aliens. Given it'll likely be millennia until these people are warp-capable, I imagine, and hope, this incident will be completely forgotten by then. Even so, it's not hard to wonder what kind of impact our actions will have on them.
Several hours later, a lurker holds a conference with the senior staff and Zan'trik. Everyone's appearance is back to normal.
So we have a rogue Tholian in our brig now, and Zan'trik needs a ride back to the League.
I don't think returning Nelkubi to the Assembly will be easy, given our active state of conflict with them.
Agreed. However much they might appreciate the gesture of returning Nelkubi, it probably won't change anything with how they feel about the Federation in general. Starfleet Command might have other ideas too.
What if I worked with it?
What do you mean?
You all have more than proven the worth of humanoids to me. We have some time until I get dropped off, right? Maybe I can work with Nelkubi to show there's another way to live, just like you've shown me.
Kill it with kindness, so to speak. Even if it's probably half mad from the isolation.
You know, I really like that idea. All right, make it so. Do what you can to bring Nelkubi around. If there's enough potential, I'd consider remanding it to League custody, and you can keep working with it.
Thank you, Captain. I won't let you down.
Also, Elliot, Licia, get a new suit made for Zan'trik, and make one for Nelkubi. Maybe the idea of freedom will be a nice enticement.
Shouldn't we include some safeguards in the suit for Nelkubi?
Indeed, make sure there's some included.
There's something else I'm curious about, Zan'trik.
What's that?
Why did you come to this system in the first place?
You know, I'm not sure. Something about it just seemed interesting, I guess.
Well, you had to drop out of warp. Because your systems were overloading, didn't you? We saw what happened when we first hailed you.
That's the other thing I'm not sure about. They weren't overloaded. I was going at normal speeds, and then suddenly everything just started blowing out.
Well, something had to have caused it. Components don't just blow up on their own normally.
Unless there was another outside influence.
Did Nelkubi cause it? Called to Zan'trik somehow?
I don't think so. I had no idea there was another Tholian until it was standing in front of all of us.
The alignment of the celestial bodies wasn't in place yet either, so there's no way Nelkubi could have projected anything onto Zan'trik's ship at that time. Plus, I'm sure I would have detected something.
So there was, what, another party at work here?
I've done a full survey of the system and haven't detected any other signs of alien presence.
Did you scan the stars?
Not deeply. I didn't think there'd be anything capable of hiding in them for this long.
What are you thinking, sir?
I was just pondering the Tarnolian religion. Maybe there's more to it than just what they see in the sky.
You can't be serious.
Alerka shrugs.
I don't know. I'm just guessing. We'll have to accept it as a mystery for now. We're out of time here. Walker, how long until we're ready to leave the system?
We should be able to warp out in a matter of minutes, sir.
Good. Launch the devices and get us on our way to the League.
Aye, sir.
Dismissed.
The Durandal makes its way out of the system. Before it departs, however, it deploys a warning buoy to warn any other visiting vessels that the world is a pre-warp civilization and that contact should be avoided. It also deploys a probe into orbit of the planet to monitor the Tarnolians and record data about them.
Journal of the Priestess Netaru, Twin Rise, 5th Era, 1st Year. For most, the start of a new lunar era is just another day. For me, it truly is a new way of existence. Never in my wildest dreams did I think I would fulfill a prophecy, nor meet people from the heavens. But that is what I did. Nor would I imagine a champion of the twin gods being someone I would ever, or could ever, care about. But that is what happened. Even though it was another species, I felt a bond between us that I cannot describe. Though now it is gone and I will never see it again, nor its companions. In the weeks since these events, my hope of restoring my family honor has borne fruit. Enough soldiers of King Samil have testified to what I have claimed, and my position is restored. At last, I can work towards the betterment of those under my care, and not just keeping myself alive. Onok, my loyal protector, has also declared his desire to court me. I have long suspected he harbored such feelings for me. He is young, but he would be a devoted husband. Even so, I suspect I shall always think about the champion and what might have been. More than that, whenever I look into the night sky, I shall forever wonder and dream about those strangers and the world they came from.